For some reason, your beats just aren't sounding full, loud, and interesting. In today's video, I'm going to show you a few mixing and mastering tips to bring out your creation. I'm going to show you a little preview of the beat we'll be breaking down today. Now I'm going to show you the exact same preview without mastering effects. Like, the beat's still good, but there seems like there's something missing. We're going to quickly break down the beat. If you want to see the full beat creation, it is in the top right. So this beat, I got a sample off of samplet.io, copied the notes and layered it with my certain instruments, and created this interesting drum pattern. On our drum bus, we have a compressor using parallel compression. This mixes a heavily wet signal with the dry signal to kind of glue your sounds together. As well as this, we have a little radiator, which is saturating the drums. We've also got the entire sample in mono. Let's hear it when it's not. And now with in mono. In my personal opinion, I think it gives a good chance for the drums to shine in this beat, which is what I was going for. Mono means a single speaker, so the signal is being directed straight in the middle. Stereo means two, so the sound would be directed through both. So it's like mono is single, stereo is two. So if we put this fully stereo, so the completely the other way, it kind of surrounds you, right? While I do think it sounds good like that, I wanted to allow some headroom for artists to get on this. The interesting thing about this beat, however, is on our drum bus we have a fruity peak controller, and this is controlling the volume of our sample here. So every time the drums are playing, our sample is getting ducked. Watch. This is to make room for the frequencies that the drums are playing and just lets them hit that much harder. This will not work in every beat, however, but for this one I thought it was appropriate. The way a fruity peak controller works is this is the bass right here. So this is the starting volume, and we've got it here to how it's mixed. This volume will either decrease or increase based on the amount of signal it receives. So if the drums are hitting hard, the loudest that the drum hits will decrease by 60%, which is what we got it here. And that is the max it will ever decrease. Because as you can see, if we mute the kick and the snare, the hi-hat only does it a little bit, as it is not the loudest part. But the loudest parts will max out this here, but it will not go past that amount. You could also do this to increase the volume, but for this scenario, it does not work at all. Decay is how long it takes to get back to its original position. LFO you can ignore for this scenario, but I will touch on that in a different video. But this is all we're using here. And to enable this peak controller to work, you right click on your volume, link to controller, and right here you will find free peak controller, and it'll tell you where it is. So I have one on the kick and I have one on the drum bus. And that's how you know. So that makes our drums hit harder, and that makes our drums go through the beat, but without our mastering effects, it sounds a little soft, so we need to bring that out. First up, I always have an EQ on my master, and the reason for this is because you can click detached here, and while you're playing the beat, you can look at the frequencies that are being played and see if there's too many frequencies in one range and where you need to put other frequencies. So it's a good help to see what is overpowering the beat. Remember, you are not a mixing and mastering engineer, so you're never going to get it perfect unless you learn to become that. You're a producer, I assume. So don't stress yourself out too much, but this is definitely a skill that you do want to build up and learn over time. When you're making beats for YouTube and stuff, you want them to just be loud and have headroom. That is your main concern and goals. So first things first, we've got a limiter here. I've put the ceiling down a little bit just to cut off some of those peaks. Next up, we have a little radio, which is a saturation plugin. Alternatively, you can use saturation knob, and this just brings up all the sounds just from that one plugin. And next up, we do have a paid plugin, but this is called TR5 Classic Clipper. Now what this does is this is going to increase the volume and saturate some of the high ends. So when it starts to clip, it will get saturated instead of just so without, now with. It just really brings the beat to life. When I'm making beats, I like to have this plugin on anyway. Add a soft clipper just to soften it. There's definitely better ways to master your beats, but I think a good master always stems from your mix. If your mix is not up to standard, your master won't be able to do much to save it. However, it can improve it. It's not the saving grace all the time. If you have a terrible mix, your master's not going to be great, but if you have a good mix, then your master's going to be amazing. On the bottom here, I have a free plugin called Julian Loudness Meter, and this allows me to see how loud my beat is. We're currently peaking at negative 1.1 dB, which is a comfortable volume that does allow artists and freestylers and whatever to get onto the beat. If you have any suggestions or tips on mastering, leave them in the comments and I'll look over them and speak to you about it, see if it works, see if it doesn't. I am always still trying to learn just like you guys, but I want to share my knowledge and see if I can improve on that as well. So I hope you got something from this video. Keep making music and I will see you in the next one. Peace.